The Tomb of the Patriarchs, the structure that initially was built around it, was done by King Herod. Do you remember the name Herod? Perhaps you've heard of a old Andrew Lloyd Webber musical called Jesus Christ Superstar, where they specifically talk about the Jewish Messiah. Now, Palestinian Authority condemns Judaization. How can we Judify a Jewish site? Now, understand, we have the Tomb of the Patriarchs, the building around it that Jews made, and then we have all of the additions, much like with the Temple Mount. See, this is called archaeology, and I would really love for you to pause and look at that. All the stuff you see right at the bottom, that's Jewish. Now, if you pay attention, it tells you each point which colonizer was controlling Israel at the time. And then, of course, eventually we end up at the very top with the Islamic colonization by putting a big gaudy gold-domed mosque on top of a Jewish site. They dig down through the mosque, so they're digging through the layers into the Jewish site. Knowingly will not allow Israel to come in, because in case you haven't paid attention, when Islam colonizes, it doesn't, like Judeo-Christianity, enveloped the pagan and Jewish holidays and traditions to make it easier to convert the people that they were stealing from. Islam doesn't bother with that. Much like the Buddhist statues, they just destroy anything that they don't like. And please bear in mind that any place that Islam has colonized and then lost that land, they still consider it to be their land. And I mean, in case you weren't paying attention, England, they're claiming you stole Big Ben from them. So as Islam gets closer and closer to being the majority in the UK, because as all of you so-called liberals with the not open minds have bent over backwards to accommodate the terrorists, they're going, yes, yes, feel bad for us so we can fuck you over. Guarantee that when they have a majority in the UK, they will claim that Big Ben should be returned to the fictional country of Palestine. And I'm just going to leave this with one other question that most of us do love to point out to we bigots, terrorist sympathizers, and jihadists. You idiots are saying shit that would have had you laughed out of the room not even 50 years ago. And yet you all have the audacity to look at Jews and say, learn history, read a book. We have read the books. We know better than you. That's all there is to it. Oh, and as I had to repeatedly point out to so many of you who are just so thick that you want to claim that Christ, Jesus Christ, was Palestinian. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Yeah, because in a lot of the times when these songs were being written, Israel didn't actually exist as anything other than a colonized space. But Jesus Christ still came from it. That's why a lot of us were taught to say Israel, because that's where the birth of the King of Kings came from. Remember? The Jew? Oh, just as a side point, they love to claim that the Temple Mount is their holiest site, but it's not, because they pray towards their holiest site. That's Mecca. They pray with their backs literally to Jerusalem.